You ever seen a line of dominoes fall? While we're finishing up these last 15 days of the year, we're going to try and talk about different various things. But the dominoes, you know, the 5 little piece setup that how people set up them, go around a room, and they do all sorts of really cool acrobatics and loop around tables and stuff. It's beautiful. But here's the part that we forget. See, all that movement starts with one tiny push. And most of us think we need a big breakthrough to change our lives. A big opportunity. A moment. A big, finally, the year is over. Finally, the year is beginning. But the truth is, we don't. We don't need that. We lack the push. See, we're waiting for motivation when momentum is built by motion. You know, we can sit and listen to motivation stuff all day long, but until we try and get up and make that little push to do something extra, all that motivation is just gigo, in one ear, one out the other. So today, I want to show you how small wins can create big waves. Like how one action can set off a chain reaction to how your life can shift faster than when you stop waiting and you start pushing. See, dominoes don't fall because they're big. They fall because they're aligned right next to each other. You don't need to knock down the biggest one first. In fact, there's a video out there on YouTube where they show a little tiny itty bitty one hitting one just a little bit bigger, that hits a little bit bigger, that hits a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger and bigger, until finally you get this big huge cement block that it just knocks over. Meaning that you just don't need to knock over the big block. You just need to knock over the next block bigger than you. So once that first domino falls, the rest don't need convincing. Momentum does the work. That's why the hardest part of change isn't the journey. It's the first step. It's that first. Because once you move, your movement creates more movement. Sort of like law of physics. An object in motion tends to stay in motion until a force of opposite pushes it back. See, there is a world record domino setup where the first domino is tiny, like I was telling you about on a video. And that's your life. One tiny, small little push. One little tiny habit that you got to change today can knock down something bigger tomorrow. And something bigger the day after that. And something bigger the day after that. So let me bring this home. See, there are a lot of times we get stuck. I know I've been stuck. Getting stuck sucks. Say that 5 times fast. Waiting for the right moment. But nothing ever changes if nothing changes. See, until I stopped waiting and I gave myself permission to push that first domino over, nothing changed. So I had to make that first phone call. I had to make that first post. I had to have that one conversation. I had to take that one step. Now, that one push doesn't fix everything. I'm not in front of 10,000 people, and and all that stuff like that. But you know what? I'm a lot closer than I was a year ago. It started something. And that started something grew. And that growth is becoming momentum. And that momentum becomes transformation. Now, I'm here not because I made a giant leap. I made 1,000 small steps. And every step mattered. Every push counted. Every move moved me closer to where I am right now. And you can too. By choosing a small thing that you want to change about your life. You got to dream the big dream. Because if you can't grow into your dream, then the dream's not big enough. Here's those challenge. Because remember those dominoes? How they started out small and eventually knocked over the big towering ones? You got to have a dream like the big towering ones. They don't fall because they're strong. They fall because they're set up with intention. Now, I don't want you to knock down the whole line today. I don't want you to be a big giant bull and go run, I'm going to knock down all these down. No, you don't want to do that. You just got to try and push. Find the one habit you got to start on a daily basis. And push it on a daily basis. Do it once a day. Because when you push on that one domino once a day, when you push on that one habit once a day, when you read that one book once a day, when you try and go to the gym once a day, when you try and walk around the block once a day, when you go live once a day, once you try and do that one habit, that one thing you want to change once a day, it becomes into a momentum. And it turns into movement. And you start that chain reaction that can change your life. Have a great one.